In a shocking twist of events, Ariana Grande told her passionate fans to stop sending hate to her cheating, no good, washed up husband, Dalton Gomez. And here I am doing it now. But does she want us to stop sending that hate out of the kindness of her heart? Or does she need us to stop because Dalton may threaten to take legal action, as their divorce had a strict clause stating neither of them can release any story, recording, or inside details about their marriage, like an album that may or may not sell millions of copies in the first week and go #1 on Billboard. It's rumored that Dalton is sending her pushback because the hate train is getting very bad. Will he get another $1 million settlement out of her? Will she keep paying his bills? Is he not selling enough houses? Or did Ariana find a loophole in the whole situation by making this album a concept album and not autobiographical? Did she turn nonfiction into fiction for the sake of not going to divorce court with Judge Judy? In a world where pop girls' not so dearly departed boyfriends are getting dragged for the rest of their lives by rapidly aggressive fans, let's look at other girls who told their fans to stop bullying their exes and dissect the whole Ariana and Dalton divorce situation. So the lyrics on Eternal Sunshine really did finally expose Dalton Gomez for who he is. We never really knew him, if you think about it, but now that we know him, we hate him. Or at least I do. So let's go through some of these lyrics that are very damning and point him out to maybe be the final boss of pop girl fuckboy ex-husbands, because it really does paint him out to be the most morally corrupt, emotionally unintelligent person in the whole world. Let's start with let's start with the intro. It says, "How do I know if I'm in the right relationship?" Girl, you're supposed to know you're in the right relationship because you said "I do" and joined each other in holy matrimony in front of Jesus and Nona. That's how you're supposed to know. If you don't know right there, girl, that's your answer right there. By the way, I did not do an intro. I'm Patty. Thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, Pop Culture University, where you are a student and I am the professor of pop culture. Take your seats and listen to everything I'm about to say. I am a strict professor, so if you don't do the homework, pay attention, take notes, and listen to me, you will be expelled. I will call home. I will call home. I will wreck your home. Let's go to the next song. Bye was kind of like a nice breakup song. She said she intentionally made that one a bit respectful. Don't want to break up again though? Oh girl. She exposed the fuck out of him. With lyrics like, "I fall asleep crying. You turn up the TV. You don't want to hear me. One more sleepless night." Turn up the TV while your wife is crying? And your wife is Ariana Grande? Schmariana Schmande? Not saying I'm going to send hate to Dalton Gomez, but if I see him out in public, I'm going to do something very low vibrational. Now, I'm not going to threaten him on here for, my sake, but let's just say I won't send him hate, but I would like to be sent his address because I just want to talk. She continues, "I made it so easy, spent so much on therapy, blamed my own codependency, but you didn't even try. When you finally did, it was at the wrong time. I won't abandon me again for you and I." So he was a no good, not caring husband. I feel like their marriage just happened so quickly. He could not handle all of her. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those guys, what's behind every successful woman? A hating ass man. A hating ass stay-at-home husband who is jealous. Men want a breadwinner. They want your dinner until they start feeling insecure. They want your shimmer to make them feel bigger until they're not hungry anymore. And then they leave you. And I think that's what Dalton was doing here, making her feel like he did not care, he didn't give a shit. It's just weird that, you would drown your wife out when she's crying. Do you know what I'm saying? I get drowning your baby out when it's crying. Leave that shit, in the crib. Who cares? But your wife? Girl. Especially Ariana Grande. She's not just your wife. She's your financial supporter. Your legal guardian. May as well be. In the song Eternal Sunshine, the title track, we keep chugging along the train of the hate Dalton Gomez train, and I'm the conductor. And it says, "I don't care what people say. We both know I couldn't change you. I guess you could say the same. Can't rearrange truth. I've never seen someone lie like you do. So much you even start to think it's true. oh, get me out of this loop. So she's dealing with a mass manipulator, a sociopath, a skilled gaslighter. And Ariana Grande should not be gaslit. No, 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 no. She does not deserve that. Regardless of what the public says, she does not deserve to be gaslit. So now we play our separate scenes. Now she's in my bed laying on your chest. Now I'm in my head wondering how it ends. You have a new girl in Ariana Grande's bed. Ariana Grande's California king bed. I live in West Hollywood. I drove on her street. I was not supposed to. It said, do not enter this street, but I did. Because I wanted to drive past her house. That Dalton sold her, and then you're going to bring another woman into her bed laying on your chest? I will admit, he has a very sexy chest. Oh, his tattoos, his muscles, girl. Look at my chest. Ariana Grande sent me this. I'm not lying. It says yes and on it. I defend her so much online, and I think she appreciates that, as, you know, the incessant bullying of her is going on, and how no one seems to be on her side, and she's like public enemy number one, the witch burning at the stake. I am there being her sympathizer and defender. And I love the line on Ordinary Things when she says, you hit like my biggest fan, when I'm hearing what the critiques say. And I'm like, that is me, that is me. So that's my credentials for making this video. Make sure to subscribe, share, like, become a student here at Pop Culture University. Also, okay, she kind of takes her own responsibility too, because she's not just gonna boy bash without telling us about her part in the video. Let me make sure that. Okay, so she says, now it's like I'm looking in a mirror. I hope you feel all right when you're in her. Ooh, I hope you feel all right when you're in her. Ooh, she said, I dare you to find a puss as good as this. So, you know, Dalton, I hope you feel all right when you're in her. And hope you use a condom. Because we know you have, you know, something going on down there. I hope you, hope you feel all right when you're in her. I found a good boy and he's on my side. I bet Ethan does like being called a good boy. You're just my eternal sunshine. Sunshine. As, you know, referencing the concept album. So I try to wipe my mind, just so I feel less insane. Rather feel painless. I'd rather forget than know for sure, what we could have fought through behind this door. So I close it and move. So we play our separate scenes. Now he's in your bed laying on my chest. Now I'm in my head wondering if this is how it ends. Again, she's referencing Eternal Sunshine, about how that movie that Jim Carrey made. And that movie is all about a couple who was so saddened and like suffering in their heartbreak of their disillusionment and fallout of their relationship that they decided they would rather erase their memory than have to think about it for one more second. So she's kind of relating that to her life and not necessarily giving too many details. The last song I want to go into here, True Story. I love this one, and this is also quite damning for him. She says, this is a true story about all the lies you fantasized about you and I. This is a true story about all the games I know you play. Turning like a dime, wasting all their time. Sneaking like a creep at night. But I'll play whatever part you need me to. For fun, you like to pray for my demise. Now he is sneaking like a creep at night, and I'm glad that this album has revealed to us that it seems as though he emotionally moved on from the relationship first. He was over it. He was the catalyst for this whole series of unfortunate events that happened to Miss Ponytail in terms of the divorce and then getting with Ethan and then the world thinking she's a homewrecker and the end of her world in general. He was out kissing other girls at the bars. He was out on vacations with other girls and clearly moved on. There was all these blind items about how he was not being very good to her, kind of exposed him as a cheater. And that's why he's getting all this hate now. But Dalton was prepared for all of this hate. And he was smart. And we're going to talk about their divorce, babes. Their divorce filings that Laura Wasser has filed. Laura Wasser has the best tea in the universe. Her tea truly needs to be held behind a platinum steel bulletproof safe, because I would die to hear her tea. Like, right before I die, I want them to be like, do you want us to tell you anything? Like, do you want us to tell you if the moon landing is fake or if aliens exist before we kill you? Like, no, I want to be like, bring Laura Wasser in this room. I want all of her tea. Anyway, he cheated, and now let's read the hate tweets that he is getting that is making him very upset, and maybe he will sue her. Some of the tweets say, Dalton, you have sold your last home. Dalton, you will begin to cough in 3 days, as if cursing him. Fuck Dalton Gomez and fuck you too, Jesse Nelson. We need the little mix stands to crop him out of these photos. Dalton Gomez, I hope you are aware that you are officially in war with this whole fandom. You better hide, babe. He is at war, and I am on the front lines, grabbing my pitchfork, charging into the battlefield against Mr. Dalton Gomez. It's always those people with the last name Gomez that you gotta look out for. Keep an eye out for Selena. Now back to you, you nasty fucking cheating loser bitch. Never talk about my sister ever in your life again. I promise you she's nicer than me. At Dalton Gomez. I showed you all my demons, all my lies, yet you played me like Atari. Dalton Gomez, you are not seeing heaven. My favorites are some of the really simple ones, but with an amazing video or meme attached. One was like, Dalton Gomez, I'm under your bed, and it was his house getting swatted and a bunch of like swatting people walking in with machine guns and firing everywhere just to make sure they get in before they leave. I heard he goes to Barney's Beanery a lot, which is not too far from me. So I'm just going to camp out there in the bushes. And then when he arrives, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to talk. I just want to talk. But, Ariana Grande doesn't want us to do that. So maybe let's not do that. Now let's get into the specifics of their confidentiality agreement before we talk about what Ariana Grande said about the hate that he's getting. Make sure you stay tuned here, students. The confidentiality agreement. So when they got divorced in 2023 officially, but let's be honest, they probably, stopped hanging out the second that lockdown was up. When they were allowed out the house, they never went back in the house together. They were playing house. So I don't know how serious they were. Ariana also refers to this relationship as a situationship in this album. I mean, that's when you know. If my ex-husband refers to me, when my, inevitable 3 or 4 ex-husbands refer to me as a situationship, girl, it's up for them. According to Radar Online, the divorce agreement has a strict confidentiality provision that reads, without the prior written consent of the other party, neither party shall disclose, intentionally publish, cause to be published, or provide information or documentation to any other individual or entity relating to the publication or dissemination of any document, diary, memoir, letter, story, photograph, interview, article, essay, description, or depiction of any kind whatsoever, whether fictionalized or not. So in I'm Just a Girl terms, basically like don't say nothing about us. Don't you tell nobody what we were doing in that house, or I will drag your ass to court, or we will be on TMZ in the morning. So Ariana can really not speak about it. It's like an NDA for both of them. And that's very interesting because that provision right there at the end that said if it's fictionalized or not, I think that was him being like, don't write an album about me. But all's fair in love and poetry, Dalton Gomez. So, excuse me, fuck you. Just kidding. No, I'm done hating him. I'm done. I'm such a fan of the houses he sells. I hope they all get foreclosed on. So Ariana Grande, an attempt to maybe or maybe not, not specifically talk about their marriage at all because she cannot. She made this album a concept album. An intriguing aspect of the settlement is the strict confidentiality clause. Both Ariana Grande and Dalton Gomez are prohibited from publishing any photographs, tapes, films, or recordings involving any aspect of their shared life. So we will not be getting a sex tape out of them. Additionally, the court has barred them from writing tell-all books, participating in interviews, or contributing to any form of publication concerning their relationship. Good. Because in the past, everyone would be writing a book about Ariana Grande. I'm looking at you, Jeanette McCurdy. I'm looking at you, Cassie David. I'm looking at you, Naya Rivera, rest in peace. I'm looking at you, Lily J, who went to page 6. Dalton can't go to page 6. So this provision is helpful for both of them, but it is quite strict grounds that neither of them can talk about each other. Oh my God, and now Ariana Grande can't thank you next him. Because we know Ariana Grande is not afraid to say her ex's names in the song, directly in the song. She's not on some Dear John shit. She's not just gonna allude to him but not say the full name. She's going to spell it out in the song. Thought I'd end up with Sean, but it wasn't a match. Wrote some songs about Dalton. Never mind, he's trash. She could have said that, but she made it a concept album, and she went on Zach Sang, and she's continued the vibe that it's very concept-y and maybe not all autobiographical. She said, "It's incredibly human, but touches on eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. It says everything and nothing at the same time. It's very vague, but very specific all at once. I did several passes at all of the songs to be protective of you know who, the real estate agent that shall not be named and shall not be flourishing in the market. It wasn't a fuck you at all. Even track 2, giving credit for trying. Pieces of it are real, but more so pieces of it are just a part of the concept." To me, it sounded very specific. You know, the part about the crying when the TV, the part about, I hope you feel all right when you're in her. It sounds very specific to me. And then Zach Sang said it's cloaked. And I agree. The album is very cloaked because she's trying to protect people here. She's masking it behind this whole concept. It's still a quite nice album, though. She is painting him in a decent light, but he is receiving a lot of hate. Like, I'm personally very happy that the tables have turned onto him instead of her and Ethan. This album painted Ethan in a better light, too. I think people will now understand why she likes him. The last 3 songs are definitely very complimentary to them. And the song Imperfect for You is kind of like how we're so imperfect. And yes, the gray area makes us look bad. And, this is our fault as well. But we're 2 people going through a similar thing, freshly divorced and then got together. But that very small gray area when you are a new dad and living in a pineapple under the sea, it definitely makes them look bad, but they have each other. So it kind of did make me appreciate him more. Not Dalton, though. And now he's never really gotten this hate before. So Ariana Grande posted on her Instagram story today and said, "I just wanted to say that anyone that is sending hateful messages to the people in my life based on your interpretation of this album is not supporting me and is absolutely doing the polar opposite of what I would ever encourage, and is also entirely misinterpreting the intention behind the music. I ask you to please do not. It is not how you support me. It is the opposite. Although this album captures a lot of painful moments, it is woven together with a through line of deep, sincere love. If you cannot hear that, please listen more closely." Now, what I take from this is her wink, wink, nudge, nudge, keep sending him the hate. You're my shooters in the streets on Team Ariana. Keep it firing. That's what I hear. But she's like that cool teacher who has to discipline you, but with a wink after, because, the principal told her to discipline your students, but she doesn't want to, but she kind of just has to. That's how I feel about the whole situation. So maybe I will not strangle him with my own 2 hands. I would never do that. I'm just saying that hypothetically. But maybe I will give him a sassy if I see him at Barney's Beanery ever, or, out on the street on La Cienega, because he does not have a job. He potentially sent her angry emails, is, allegedly the word on the street. Now, Taylor Swift is a good person to look at in this situation because she is definitely the heavyweight champion of taking her exes down in the ring. And by the ring, I mean on paper and pen. Her pen is lethal, and she's definitely collected some bodies out there in the streets with the Swifties. John Mayer being one of them, she obviously wrote Dear John about him, and he was not silent about how he felt about that. It is confirmed that she has received angry emails from him, and then she went on the Eras tour and said, she told her fans to stop bullying this old man, this promising old man. "I'm 33 years old. I don't care about anything that happened to me when I was 19. I'm not putting this album out so that you can go and should feel the need to defend me on the internet against someone you think I might have written a song about 14 billion years ago." Again, that's giving the vibe of I don't want to be saying this, and I do still passionately hate this man, and you should go bully him immediately, Lamente. But I have to say this. And she did still care because she wrote woulda, coulda, shoulda about him. And I'm not interpreting that. That is just fact, honey. Ask any of the Swifties around. Let's pass the mic. It is John Mayer. John Mayer, his days were numbered. He's no longer with us, and I think Dalton Gomez is going down the same track. Now, this has happened many times with pop girls in the past, so I think Dalton is a really interesting first case study of an example of someone who kind of tried to force someone never to paint a picture of them in the public light. And maybe Ariana is a genius for doing this almost remake of a film. This isn't an album. This is a film adaptation. This is like that Mean Girls musical. It's just a musical all through and through, but like that movie, but the musical version. This has happened in the past with Olivia Rodrigo and Joshua Bassett. She literally sent his heart in the hospital. This happened with people like Miley and Liam. He got a lot of hate the day that Flowers came out, and Beyonce and Jay-Z. But Beyonce was like, do not take mercy on that man. It must be the cash because it ain't his face. It's not. She said keep bullying him, and she never really let up. On Lemonade, they're good now, so we love that. But she was like, you definitely deserve this day of reckoning. Taylor Swift too, I feel like she's a little bit unrelentless with it because, of course, this has happened with like Jake Gyllenhaal and Joe Jonas, John Mayer, Joe Alwyn now. She's also tried to protect Joe Alwyn a lot, but now she's not protecting him anymore. And I feel like Ariana's trying to protect Dalton. But Taylor on the Tortured Poets department, which we're definitely going to talk about in April when it comes out, and just all the tea, I feel like that's going to be like his Eternal Sunshine, his, D-Day for Joe Alwyn. It is Jover. She's protected him. On Evermore, there was all these songs about basically a husband or a love interest who forgets to cherish the woman in their life, and it kills her slowly. Tolerate It and Right Where You Left Me and Champagne Problems. There's all of these things, and that's what she's alluding that Tortured Poets Department is about. And I like the tagline for Tortured Poets Department because it says, all's fair in love and poetry. And I think that's amazing because that kind of deems, do these boys deserve it? Because let's be honest, they're not doing anything that the non-famous fuckboys are doing. They're pulling all the same moves, giving all the same lies and insincere apologies and gaslighting and games and stupid shit that these fuckboys pull as if they're smart, but they're actually just hounds, dogs that you have to train and put on a leash. They're just doing the same thing as anyone else. So it's like, do they deserve the mountain of hate? But at the same time, you can say like, all's fair in love and poetry. You do deserve the hate. You don't get an exemption from paying for what you've done to me just because my profession may give you a bigger consequence. I'm sorry, but that's not my problem. So I think write a song about how you feel. Don't let Dalton stop you. Should there be some legislation for the not so dearly departed pop girls with, these trash exes, the not so dearly departed trash exes, because they are kind of excommunicated from society and can't leave their house without living in fear. I've seen multiple things of Joe Alwyn, Swiftie saying interesting things to him as he walks by, and I'm pretty sure Dalton would not be okay to leave his house right now. I've heard like on Twitter and things that people have seen him out and he looked kind of like anxious and down. So I don't know, but it seems like Dalton knew what was going to happen in advance, given the whole Pete Davidson situation. He went to trauma therapy after Thank You Next drop, so he knew the power of Miss Ariana Grande's pen. And the voice, she's a siren. Anything she sings about you is going to be heard by the whole nation, and it is going to be you at the top of the FBI top 10 most wanted, or the Stan top 10 most wanted, which is almost a dangerous list because Stans work harder than the FBI. Like, we will make your life a living hell. Like, it's our job. It's our job. So even if Ariana posts this one thing about this, we're still probably going to continue. I won't, out of respect for her. Again, I will just give him sass. But in conclusion, I think Ariana Grande was very smart for making this a concept album, because if she was like, this is autobiographical and I'm going to say his name one time and I'm going to give all these very specific details and release like a video or a photo of us, or reference very specific moments in our lives that is so easily traceable back to him. She kind of had to make it so specific but so vague at the same time, and that's just the genius that she is. She's a mastermind. So I think Dalton is smart for seeing that in advance to kind of stop the hate, and I'm sure one day this will blow over, but Ariana's gotten so much hate this last year. It needed to be redirected somewhere, and this is a lesson to all potential pop girl suitors in the future. Maybe add this clause. It could be called the Dalton Gomez clause to your divorce papers, babes, to your divorce papers. We'll see what happens though. I will update you. I would love to make more videos about Eternal Sunshine and Taylor's album and Beyonce's album. And if Normani ever drops her album, I would love to make a video about that. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, students. If you were from the podcast and you listened to the YouTube, thank you so much. From TikTok, thank you so much. I would love to keep doing YouTube videos. I just got this amazing camera that I felt like a caveman trying to work for the first time because it's such an advanced piece of technology. But, you know, I got it going and I really just want to start my YouTube channel. So subscribe, share, like. TikTok does not cherish me. It does not put me on the For You page. They're about to get banned by Congress, and I'm just going to sit back and watch and see what happens. Thank you. Class is dismissed, but make sure to subscribe, like, and what do you think about Dalton? Do you hate him now? What's your favorite song of the album? Is it the best Ariana Grande album? Suggest what videos I should make next. Okay, bye.